Forgot my face cam. Wait. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm thinking have a different Mystery Dungeon soundtrack. Here we go. Well, this is just a 2-hour long video. This is probably better, because then we won't get, what's it called? We won't have YouTube, dropping in every so often, asking like, hey, are you still watching the playlist? I don't know, did you notice that the playlist was all soundtrack? Alright, let's get to the stream manager. Alright. Here we are. I've left my door open just in case my dogs wanna come in. But, Clive's up already, so I'm not sure if they're actually gonna come in or not. So we'll see. I got a little bit of a head start before stream started. Because this is a huge piece again, I kind of need what's it called? I kind of need all the time I can get on this. I do plan on getting this out this week, because yeah, and then let's see, let's just follow the line like that. Might not be the most pretty, but that is technically correct from what I remember of Gale's earring. Which means we just finished the Gale! Hello, YouTube here. Are you still watching the playlist you just pressed play on 5 minutes ago? Yeah. Yeah, that's basically how it goes. Welcome, Simbatson. I'm gonna do my very best to finish this thing. And also maybe talk about recent drama, because I know we love spilling tea here. Yeah, hello Kira, hello, welcome, lovely to see our regulars. I'll snooze that for 5 minutes. Maybe if I had like a little like timer. It's like, I think it's ads every hour, so at 12:30-ish we'll try and get there again. Hello, welcome 5 viewers, welcome. So, drama yapping time. I love internet drama. It's so funny to watch. Just as long as it never involves me. Johnny Somali, that really hated IRL streamer guy, has been arrested. In South Korea. I know they'd have like a different legal system there, but I'm just there like, please arrest him again already. Yeah, I know. He was arrested and I think he was released, and they put him back in his what's it called? In his... You know what I'm gonna do, actually? I think I should, like, speak to the camera more. I'm gonna find some googly eyes, I'm gonna put them right here. That is an unflattering view of my fingers, I'm so sorry for that. I'm gonna put them right here, so I can, like, make eye contact with something when I talk to chat. But yeah, he was released because they quite literally just don't want to house him. And I'm just like, I've just been like sitting here like, just arrest him already. It'd be so funny, because he's already facing like a charge, so, yeah. I would almost understand, like, the whole, like, IRL, like, nuisance stuff, had it not been for the fact that... Oh, wait, actually, I just remembered. I don't need to put googly eyes. I have these frog eye stickers right here. I'm gonna choose the yellow ones. Let's see. Didn't he have, like, a naked crash out or something? He wasn't fully naked. He was just shirtless. To keep up with things, I watch Otozi, because he's, like, on the... on the ground with this kind of thing. Like, he literally, him and a few other people flew out to South Korea to watch, like, the first trial, which is so funny to me. There we go, we got, like, little eyes on the camera. I don't know why I'm, like, taking time to do this. But yeah, he was drunk, and then he was getting donations, and then because he was getting donations, it's like, oh boy, I'm gonna go out there and, like, cause more trouble. So he was shirtless, screaming something, but he is sick of being in Korea already, so he's just trying to find, like, a way to, he's just trying to find an out, but he's certainly got an interesting approach in finding an out, because his whole thing is, like, what is it? Because, you know, he's still, like, bothering everyone. I saw some comments with some interesting theories, like, he's either, like, trying to go for, like, an insanity plea, or, what else did I see? I think another one was, like, he's just trying to be, like, so obnoxious that they're just going to deport him, which would be, like, the worst thing, and I think some people are, like, theorizing, like, that might end up being the case. I kinda don't think so, though, just because, like, it's definitely a possibility, the whole, like, getting deported thing. I just think that it's most likely an insanity plea. Yeah, I'm willing to believe that one a lot more. But I don't think he actually can do that anymore, because I think he did admit on stream that, like, his actions are all a ploy to get sent back home. So he clearly knows what he's doing. So I don't think he can do the insanity plea. I don't even know if well, I'm sure insanity plea works in Korea. It's just, I think it's gotta be under slightly different circumstances, because I don't know how Korean law works. So that's been, like, a whole crazy thing, that I've been keeping up with. I'm, like, glued to the screen, with that. Every time there's, like, a new video from Atozy about him, and I'm just like, yes! Please tell me this guy got punched in the face again. Because that was honestly the best part of, like, the whole, like, Korea saga. It was, like, what was it? Back in, like, winter or fall, there were literally people, like, tracking him down. They had a bounty on him, and they would get paid to beat him up. And then they would get arrested. And then after people, like, beat him up and got arrested for that, people would just bail out their neighbors, because it's, like, you know, literally, like, a public service punching this guy in the face. Like, you know the whole, like, YouTuber thing where it's like, oh, don't send hate to anyone involved? Not that I condone online bullying, but kind of based if we do it to this one guy in particular. I'm like, I hope that doesn't get me banned. There's just so many awful, like, IRL streamers. Jack Doherty is also, like, he's apparently on Twitch now, which is kind of crazy. Like, the guy who crashed his McLaren and once again spouts really, like, awful racist things, as I heard from, like, one video. I can't believe he's on Twitch. It's not gonna get you banned, but you are right. Yeah, I told Johnny a similar thing. I got a YouTube short recommended to me, like, yesterday, I think? I think it was yesterday. I think it's, another guy. I don't think he was streaming. I think it was just, like, one of those things where, like, he sat down to record. 14-year-old on something like Omegle, was being racist, saying a bunch of really bad things. YouTuber, like, doxes him, gives him the full name and address, and the kid's just like, bro, you're really gonna ruin a 14-year-old's life over this? It's like, you've ruined it yourself being racist on the internet. Like I said, I don't necessarily condone cyberbullying, but kinda based. I don't condone doxing, but again, kinda based. IRL streamers and kick streamers are, like, a plight. I think you meant blight there. Yeah, I agree. There's, like, no, I shouldn't say IRL streamers, because there's, like, really good, like, IRL streamers. Honestly, I think when I, vend at the art walk, I kinda want to turn that into an IRL stream. I just gotta figure out a battery situation for that is the one thing. Kick streamers, though, definitely weirdly problematic consequences in my internet. Apparently, I think there was a guy, I think Mike Tyson, he said it best. The internet made everyone too comfortable with not getting punched in the face. And so here's my whole take on it. You can have, you have the freedom to say these things. But that means other people also have the freedom to bring the wrath of God on you when they decide that, you know, some things need to be, some things need to be reaped and sowed, or however the saying goes. I don't know, I'm not literate today. I was yesterday, not today. But again, it's never like a bring back bullying kind of thing. It's kind of just a, let's just remind people that they're not absolved of any consequences, right? The freedom to do things applies to everyone, which is the beautiful thing about free speech. Free speech also comes with free backlash, yeah. Everyone has free speech. Everyone has free speech and freedom to do whatever it is they want. The key word being everyone. So that's my whole take on it. So I think that was like, I thought that was super fun. You know, I should just show you the clip. I should just show you guys the clip, because it's good. It's good. I'm gonna try and have it be like a little quiet, because I don't want to get, and maybe I shouldn't show it on stream then. I'll at least show you guys the thing here. Display capture, yes, here we go. My horrible liked playlist. But this is like, yeah, this kid here is saying some awful things. You can already see that it gets pretty bad. And again, do I necessarily condone doxing? But where's that funny internet quote? Social media made y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. I have to agree. I have to painfully, or hilariously and gladly agree, because Jesus Christ, some people are just insane. Exactly, yeah. But yeah, so that's been going on. There was another thing that I saw online. Another React streamer, Cat and Chat. There was one video she uploaded recently. Have you guys heard of art fixing? Like, just out of sheer curiosity, like how we feel about like the whole art fixing thing, because I don't think it's nearly as common in today's day and age than it was like maybe 5 years ago. I should have brought some water up here. It's okay. I have like these little like cookies here. Art fixing is such a wild thing to me, cause the audacity to go online and then fix somebody's art without their consent has to be one of the craziest things. And that's not all of the art fixing community. There's a lot of like really good artists out there who people will submit their work and they'll like, you know, like touch it up a little bit and explain. Maybe is it when someone fixes someone's art by making it something different without consent? See, that's the... You would hope that, like, art fixing is, you know, actually fixing someone's art. Like, it'd be cool if somebody, like, if I, like, submitted... maybe not this specific piece, but, oh, I forgot. I gotta turn off my display capture. Maybe not this specific piece, but, It'd be cool, like, I submit it and, like, there are genuine people who are out there and they give tips, and they'll be like, hey, here's what you can fix, here's, like, this, and this, and it's nice. Because I've seen it and it is terrible, the sheer confidence of these people, too, insane. Yeah. And that is unfortunately what I think ended up being, like, the more popular side of art fixing. There are people who will just, like, go online and be like, actually, you should change this. And sometimes it's not even, like, technical things, too, which is kind of crazy. because like the whole art fixing thing that I've seen will always be like, oh, you didn't draw this skin tone correctly, and it's like, the one that I remember was Xena Fix's art, where she was like, stop making anime characters white. Like, girl, I agree. More people of color representation, and I do agree that Asia has like a whole, whitewashing problem sometimes. But have you considered that you are making a Japanese character not Japanese, like you are taking representation away from like literally something else? Because, while I understand that, while I mentioned, yeah, Asia does kind of have a whitewashing problem, there are light-skinned Asians. Source, look at the face cam. But, yeah, the one in particular that I saw today, this person on TikTok, I think both people involved are minors. This person has like a little Sona or an OC, and it's like a little like yellow, like blobby looking thing, or blobby looking humanoid with like green spiky hair and like kind of like crazy eyes, right? Very cute, very like you know, not necessarily special or anything, but it's like, or not necessarily generic, I mean, but it's definitely like a different like kind of Sona than you'd expect from like I think most like artists and art personalities out there, right? So this other TikToker is like, I'm gonna fix this person's art. The skin, why is it yellow? Make it like a more natural color. Why is she not wearing clothes? The character, by the way, has like no genitalia showing, so like they are quite literally just a humanoid blob, so there wasn't really a need for clothes there. And then there were just like complaints about like everything, and it's just like, you realize this is a stylistic choice, right? And then here's the crazy part. People were like defending the original artist, obviously, because this is an insane art fixer. Because the art fixers started expanding their whole thing to, look, I drew fan art of this person's character, and it was the art fixer curb stomping the Sona into the ground, and this person was sending death threats, and it was like, okay, what kind of world do we live in now? And so people were like, oh, okay, well, if you're talking a lot about this person's OC, why don't you show us your OC? So they sent the OC, and immediately people started like fixing the OC, which is so funny to me. And they ended up like quitting TikTok. Now, obviously, again, the YouTubers are always going to say like, oh, don't send hate or harass anyone in this video, like they're all minors. But here's the thing, the only reason why I'm marginally more okay with this bullying that happened on the internet is because I'm pretty sure literally everyone on TikTok is like, okay, not everyone on TikTok, but a lot of people on TikTok are 12, so I'm pretty sure this was just like 15-year-olds and like other like young teens and everything just being like dumb with each other on the internet. So it's just like, haha, look at those kids fighting, it's so stupid. Reap what you sow just keeps happening. And you know what's the crazy part? This artist, people started suspecting that this was just like a publicity stunt by the original artist, because this art fixer only fixed their art, and then like they never did anything with anyone else's, so it was kind of proven, and then like all the comments were turned off on the videos, so it's like, holy shit. The age that we live in today. Again, but there's no proof like leaning either or, right? People using the same art program doesn't necessarily like point towards it. People using like text-to-speech AI voices over their TikTok videos doesn't necessarily prove anything either. It was just a whole thing, and I'm just like, not to sound, it is not a good age, but it is what it is. That's an accurate way of like of describing how everything feels. I personally choose to believe that this was genuinely, like, a person attacking another artist, because, one, again, there's no way to prove it, like, either or, and there are people who will just, like, target someone, just like that, and, you know, everyone in the, like, let's assume that everyone involved was, like, really young, like, a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old, just in that general ballpark. I think it's believable, because it doesn't seem like these artists are, like, very old. But still, no way to prove or disprove. And it's weird that pity marketing is a whole thing, right? I don't like to rely on it because, I quite like the relative honesty and integrity that I keep on my things. I won't spill everything, but I am just going, I will just, like, silly post, like, anytime I've, like, advertised for, commissions, it's like, hey, just, like, if you have extra money to spare, like, retweets help and everything. It's never, like, oh, I need this because this is, I really try not to, because I have a job anyways. The only thing maybe was, back then when I didn't have a job, I was saying, like, hey, commissions would be, like, a little bit helpful because our AC is broken. And this is, like, the year that I want to get it fixed. Blink twice if I need help. How long do you guys think I can, like, not blink? Ah, nope, I already lost. You know, Butters looks at me like that. Well, you know what's funny about Butters specifically? He doesn't blink both of his eyes at the same time, and I'm pretty sure one of his eyes just doesn't close when he blinks. It's so funny. So, like, iPhones have, like, that live, photo option, right? And there have been multiple times where we're just looking through, like, the frames of the live photo, or even, like, videos, too. And, like, his eyes kind of, like, just real quick to the side. His eyes just, like, if this is Butter's face, right? Let's just draw a quick Butter dog. His eyes are kind of like this all the time. Like, if, like, one eye closes, or if he blinks, one eye, like, actually closes, but the other one's just kind of like, it's so funny. He's such a funny little guy. Oh, another thing that happened recently, speaking of our little bubbies at home, Jimmy, Johnny sleeps on a bed, unlike me, and in his room, he's always watching, but he's still very cute. That's exactly, like, the joke that we make. Like, it's like he doesn't want to, like, take his eyes off of anything for 1 second. It's very funny. But anyways, Jimmy sleeps on Johnny's bed at night, usually. And yesterday, around the time when I got home from the game store, Jimmy had fallen off the bed. Now, Jimmy's, like, old, right? Like, he's very obviously got cataracts. We even, like, theorized, like, oh, maybe he just doesn't really, like Butters that much because he can't really see Butters coming, so it's kind of like he's always on edge. And, you know, we know he's not fully blind, he's, like, partially blind, but that means he's probably not that good at seeing in the dark anymore. So he fell off the bed, trying to, like, climb down his stairs. And we were all like, oh no, we thought he had, like, hurt his leg, but after a little bit, he stopped limping, so I was like, okay, he's probably fine. Which is good. So I said, okay, well, if since we don't really want him falling off the bed again, let's get him a nightlight. So, we made a whole trip last night to, Target to go get a nightlight for him. Obviously, because it's Target, the shopping spree for, like, one thing turned into a shopping spree for, like, a bunch of other things, but we don't think about that. We were looking at them. We haven't had a nightlight in, like, ages. We used to have them at the old house that we lived in, The one that I remember had like a really nice seafoam green glow to it. I remember I was obsessed with it when I was a little kid, but I don't think we have them anymore, which is upsetting because it was a really pretty color. We went with something simple because, one, it's Jimmy, he's a very simple dog, but Johnny was really tempted to get this one that was shaped like a rocket ship. But we decided, no, it's just not Jimmy's vibe. Like, this is Jimmy's nightlight, it's not Johnny's nightlight. If it was Butters, you probably would have gotten the rocket. So the Target shopping was fun yesterday, at least. Let me see. I have it over here. I saw the cutest thing in the $5 aisle because the $5 aisle is actually so goated for some of the merchandise that it has in there sometimes. I've decided this is a little like shopping haul segment, I guess. I've decided that spring is approaching and perhaps it is time to switch from dark cottagecore to a little bit more of a traditional cottagecore, so I found this chicken basket. Target haul, let's go. Look at this. I don't know if you can tell that it's blue, like in the light, but it's so cute, and it's blue, and I know there's blue chickens in Stardew, so I had to get this one because I love Shane. This is Clive's. I should probably give it to him, but it's a pen. He bought it specifically for this little, like, chicken that's up here. It's very squishy. Very nice and squishy. Chicken basket, it's so cute. It is really cute. And then, I bought this pen, that will diffuse scents, so I can get high while I'm writing. I'm kidding, I don't think I can get high from it. It's like essential oils or something like that. Then I got this journal. I've decided that anytime that I have, like, a stock for vending, I'm just gonna, like, write down, like, what I sold in here, just to be more organized, just to feel a little bit more like a small itty-bitty business. Something like that. I'll start writing in there at some point, I'm sure. And then I decided that with this basket, I should put a bunch of fake produce in the basket. Unfortunately, these carrots were the only thing they had, so yeah, but I like them a lot. They're like really cutely made. I think if I definitely will consider putting more like crochet stuff in here, because if you guys didn't know, crochet is really hard to mass produce, so anytime you see crochet in bulk, it's almost always, it's pretty much always, like, guaranteed handmade. Which is really cool. So, you know, anytime I see more, crochet, like, fruits, flowers, vegetables to put in this basket, I'm gonna take off this little thing here. I'm gonna put it in here. And I'll just have that on decoration. I don't think I'm gonna get rid of the autumn leaves, and my room is purple, so I can't do much about, like, more regular cottagecore kind of stuff, but I can dream. Maybe I'll put like my little, like, I'll put like flesh mushrooms in here or something. I don't know, but yeah, this basket is adorable, so definitely gonna try and find decorations to put in there. But for now, it's gonna hold part of the haul because I still have yet to organize all of those. Let me toss that real quick. But yeah. Oh my god. So, let me also talk about my shift yesterday at the game store. No one has still... What is your ultimate dream home cottagecore? It's more like a cabin, I'm not gonna lie. It'll be like... My dream home would be somewhere in the middle of the woods with, I want, like, a very, like, sort of dark academia feel, but blended with, like, cottagecore, so, that's usually where, like, the dark cottagecore... I think, at the end of the day, it's probably, like, faster and easier to say, I want to live in a witch's hut. That's probably a little bit faster. But yeah, it's like something like that. I would obviously have like my little artist desk with like lights and everything. Well, more like a light. That is easier. That is a way easier to say. Yes, I completely get it. I just love the aesthetic of it. Yay! Yeah. And then I would have Butters, my cat Margarine, and the little Butterherd. And the Butterherd is comprised of like little like Shih Tzu kind of dogs. Witches have cats, right? Oh yeah, I would absolutely have a cat later on. I think if Butters is a black and white border collie, I think it's only fair that Margarine cat is an orange tabby. So that's where I'm at with that. But okay, so with the shift. No one has showed up for the D&D worm watching stuff yet, so I've still been writing out the next one that I want to do. But obviously, like, you know, taking my time a little bit on that one. Yesterday at the store, somebody came in with $350 worth of Pokemon cards. And we had to price them all, individually, because we don't have a way to, like, mass do it. It's not like we have a catalog in which you can just search up every Pokemon rare in existence and just be like, that's just TCG player. And so we had to do that, like, one by one. And then, one of my coworkers, Albert, he goes, okay, well, it's a lot of cards, so let's just take, like, the really, like, pricey ones, so, like, $5 and up, and we'll price that out as a total. So I sorted that out, and I explained, okay, so we've taken, like, the rarest cards in the stack, or most of them at least, and, you would get about $250, because, like, the rest of it was only, like, $1 to $2 cards, right? And he goes, oh, I thought we were gonna do, like, the whole thing, and I was like, yeah, we could do the whole thing, too. So I had to reprice it all again. Thankfully that one went by just a little bit faster. It's $353. I get, our store policy is half cash, 60% store credit, so we got the, so he got about $176, I think, was the total. And then I ended up buying one of the cards from his stack, because it looked like it looked like a Prismatic Evolutions card. Like, I swear that card has been, like, promoted, I swear that card was part of the Prismatic Evo set. Turns out it was Stellar Crown, but it was still a really nice card. Let me show you the one that I got specifically. Let's see, TCG player. Yeah, I will open a separate tab so you guys can see how similar it looked and why I thought it was Prismatic Evolutions. TCG player, and it was Galvantula EX. I bought it because Johnny hasn't been able to get any Pokemon cards for the longest time because of the Scalpers. It was this one. Oh my god, it's $25 now. Its market price went down. Okay, so let me go put that on screen. Oops. Wrong thing. So, this was the... Sounds familiar. Oh, this is the boss fight theme. So it was this. It was Galvantula EX. I swear this was from Prismatic Evolutions. Because, honestly, when you look at Prismatic Evolutions, the card art style looks really similar. Like... Okay, hang on. This is... Like, these are these secret illustration works. Like, this... It's, like, the same style, like, especially with, like, the Sylveon here. So I thought it was Prismatic Evolutions, it's Stellar Crown, but still a really nice card. And then the most expensive one in that, stack that I bought yesterday was Solgaleo and... I'm just gonna put that because I'll probably find it. Tag team. Let's see. Filters. Cards. Let me show you guys which one it was exactly. Assuming I can find it. I don't remember the exact title of the card, but I know what it looks like. And I swear it was Solgaleo and Lunala. Shit, where did it go? Okay, just get rid of the thing, and then product type cards, how about that? Oh, let me put GX, that might have been the thing. It was this one. It was this card right here. I would have got this for Johnny, but if we look at the market price, it is $63, and I was like, holy shit. But Johnny said, next week, if the card is still there, he's gonna buy it, so. Yeah, this was a cool card. I gotta say, though, the rainbow kind of, like, makes it so that it's really hard to see what's going on. I think just the standard full art is better, because you can actually see what's going on. Also, it's $253, holy fuck. Ouch. It is a very pretty card still. Yeah, it's still definitely very pretty. Like, it's, like, this is gorgeous. I love the Pokemon TCG art so much. I think Johnny said before that he would love to illustrate a Pokemon card one day. I know he's painted one before. I don't know where it is, though, and I don't know if he has a picture of it that I can show off on stream right now. But we'll have to see. Because he's been way better about, like, doing art, but that's kind of because, like, a lot of his assignments is art. It's, like, I don't think he's created, like, anything, like, for himself recently, which is kind of the big thing here. I don't know if I would want to do Pokemon card art, because it's very... A big part of it is also the environment. I'm not particularly good at those yet. But yeah. Really cool cards yesterday. I stuck price tags on them, I put them on display. I think we're out of top loaders at the store though, so... couldn't sleeve all of them and put them out, but they are there at least. Okay. Okay, and then I think this was Astarion's arm. So just gonna get that in there. Yeah, I had fun, writing yesterday. I was in a very... The whole reason I was like, man, I think I'm literate today was because I was in a huge, like, writing mood yesterday. I didn't end up doing a lot of writing, but I did write more of, like, the D&D one-shot, where, funny elves get up to funny elven things. The interesting thing about writing the stealth stuff is, I'm trying to still love the confidence. It's... Look, I can't read very well sometimes. I can't write very well most of the time. But, like, yesterday it was like, oh my god, I can see plot threads, like, in the air. The interesting thing about writing a stealth mission is, eventually I do want my players to be caught, right? It's just, I don't want them to be the third eye open. Such an accurate way of describing it. Jesus Christ. But what ended up happening was, I was trying to, like, sit there and, like, decide, like, okay, what exactly is going to happen if my players, like, fail any of their stealth checks. One of the first things I decided was, okay, well, if they fail and they get caught by, like, say, just one of the regular workers out in, the the manor's garden, they can just, like, talk their way out of it. Like, I will give them that option, right? The other issue that I'm running into is how am I gonna get them out of the mansion now? Because I'm having it so that they're sneaking in through a window. But that means, like, they're unlocking the window from the outside. They can't relock the window from the outside, so they gotta go through the mansion to make sure that they don't get caught. So I don't know how I'm gonna figure that out, because I, obviously, in my head, like, technically a lot of the people inside the mansion should be of, like, relatively high level compared to, like, the party, because I have my one-shots at level 1, but, I don't know how I'm gonna handle it just yet. I'm, like, trying to think about it, though. Man, there are, like, so many, like, fine details. I'm, like, worried that, like, everything is gonna be, like, so, like, condensed that it's gonna be kind of hard to see, like, all the tinier stuff, but I think it's working out alright so far. If I don't like how, like, say, this earring or this nose ring looks when I color it, I'm probably just gonna paint them in over the outlines, just because, they're really small and they're really fine. They're kind of hard to see. Okay, and then there's another one of those, like, ribbed linings there. It's a good thing I spent an unholy amount of time having to look at Astarion's outfit so I knew how to draw him. And then I think that's just some clothing wrinkles, and those embroideries will get painted in when the time comes. Maybe have them escorted out by the guards, but the thing is that this isn't just like, this isn't just, what's it called? Like, stealth. They are quite literally stealing something, and this is one of the richest houses in the city, so it's kind of hard for me to just say, like, oh, well, they could just get escorted out. But I think something that'd be interesting is if, like, somebody on the inside helped them sneak out. I just don't know how I'm gonna, like, write that in is the problem. So I'll figure it out. I usually do figure it out. It is a shame that time zones exist because I would love to play D&D with you sometimes. My god, I wish time zones weren't such like a impossible and frustrating thing to work with. Cause I would love to have like a server where like occasionally like I'll like be like, hey, I'm gonna host a D&D one shot. React if you want to participate, and I'll like start like a thread with all the details or something. But that's a bit hard, and I also feel like I would be very intimidated by something like that. It's okay. I'll still figure out like some kind of way to what's it called? Because there's just a lot of like OCs whose stories I want to share. I'll still find a way to like share it, even if we can't do like the comic like right away. I really want to do the comic, but it's just there's no time in like Johnny's schedule. Yeah, I get that. Also, I'm not making my way to California to play in your store. Fair enough. Don't make your way to California in general. The US is not travel safe right now, so to say. I saw on like a YouTube post like, oh my, like the South is losing billions in tourism because Canada said stop going to the US. And the Canadian like citizens being or recognizing that like we are in very silly times down here decided, yeah, let's stay out of the US for the next 4 years maybe. And I'm like, yeah, I can't even blame them there. Nobody come to the US, please. We don't deserve it. That being said, though, I was out for a bit yesterday. Obviously at the game store, and then I mentioned Target. The funny thing with all of that, I'll stay in Germany then. Great answer. The funny thing with me going out yesterday was the fact that, what's it called? Was the fact that I was still in, like, cosplay the whole time. So I still had, like, that little, like, shawl, on me. I still had my ears, I still had my hair up in braids and everything. So it was just really funny, walking around like that. But it's really nice at the same time, too, because nobody says anything. And they just treat it like it's the most normal thing, that they've seen. And I'm just like, thank God, because, well, not really like thank God, but it's like, oh, that's kind of nice that I'm not, at least, that at least people are being, like, quiet about it rather than, like, saying something a little more unsavory about it. Because I will say one time, I went over to a McDonald's, before I started my shift at the game store. I was just getting my food to go, but I had my horns on me, and there were, like, I think there were, like, a few, like, older ladies in the store, and I'm just like, don't worry, I promise I won't influence your children. I swear this is not devil-related. I'm kind of pretending to be a Dragonborn park ranger right now, but I don't have anything, like, really draconic outside of this leather jacket that looks like scales and the horns, so I'm doing my best. Ma'am, are you Satan? I could be. I could be if I really wanted to. Oh my god, I do want to get, like, actual horns printed of, like, my Sona, like, the red ones, rather than the actual pair that I have right now. I might ask my cousin if, like, he can, like, model that real quick, because it's not a hard shape at all. And it's really easy to imagine in, like, 3D, because the way that I draw, like, my little Sona's horns is like this, so you can just imagine that this is just, like a triangular base. And it just kind of goes down like that. It's not that hard. Maybe, like, a few ridges and everything, but, like, not that complicated geometry-wise, at least. I wish I knew how to 3D model. I think that would be very fun, but I also think I'd be way too powerful, if I was both a 2D artist and a 3D artist. Unless... Oh, speaking of 3D, actually, there is a Kerr VTuber design on my iPad that I have yet to ink. Because I thought, one, it would be funny to have a VTuber. I did not know Satan could teach me Bisaya. Don't you know, Philippines is basically- I'm kidding, that would have been mean to say. I do headcanon that tieflings are Filipino coded, though, in my head, but we don't think about that. But point being, there is a Kerr VTuber design in the works. I think rather than find an artist who can rig it for me, because I don't think I can, I literally cannot afford that. I think I'm just gonna, like, learn to do it myself, and we'll just see what happens. I don't think it'll be that bad, because all the elements are, like, the design is, like, super simple, because I don't feel like murdering my wrist. Kerr VTuber arc, I'm really only planning on using it on particularly hot days, because for some reason my room gets extremely warm. So in the summer when I stream, it's gonna be awful. And, my AC is loud. And we don't, or like the little AC unit I have back there is loud. And, probably just easier if I leave it off and I'll put something else on screen rather than my face cam. Maybe, we'll see. Or just, even just on days where I don't feel like having a face cam, I think it'd be good to have something very funny. But yeah, working on that, I don't even think I really need to, like, finish, like, the 2D version of it, if I think about it in my head. I could probably just skip straight to modeling, because I've had the design, like, already. Like, I know what I look like, it's literally just me! And then watch me get called out for copying someone's model, be like, bro, I literally look like this. I literally look like this in real life. What do you mean you're gonna tell me I copied somebody's model? Totally cool. Thank you. Thank you. Alright. I think we're actually gonna do the squirrel before we do the rest of Shadowheart. So just some little tufts of hair. I've been thinking I want to do like a full-length video on like everything I know about inking. Because, I talk a lot about it, and there was a how dare you actually look like your model. I'm not trying to hide my face is the thing. The funny thing is that Johnny said that if he was to do like streaming of any kind, he would probably like benefit the most from having a VTuber model just because he doesn't want his face online. I told him like maybe he could try like posting more online again, because, well, how did I phrase it to him? I know he's worried about, like, people being weird online and then finding him. And I told him, Johnny, not that this doesn't happen to guys, but the whole online stalker thing kind of does happen to girls more. If anything, I should be the one worried about posting my face online. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I don't know how you, like, post selfies without any concern. And I'm like, I low-key think it's because, either people think I'm, like, really weird, which is fine, right? Like, I am weird. I'm not gonna, like, be bothered if normies are afraid of me. Yeah, that's totally fair. Whatever he is comfortable with, exactly. But the other thing, and I was telling my coworker, over the weekend when we were on shift, I think it's so weird, or like it's so unfathomable that she has met so many like awful men in her life, and I've only had the misfortune, or I've been blessed with only having one weird guy. Now, granted, he was extremely weird and maybe, and you know, only allegedly grabbed a freshman's bra strap. But like, I don't understand how I've only met like one really creepy guy in my entire life, and she has known like so many of them, and I'm like, how did you do that? Like, genuinely. And she doesn't know either, and I'm just like, how did you get so unlucky? Because most guys that I know are, like, super, like, chill. So I don't get it. And I was, like, even, like, joking with her, like, maybe it's, like, and I was, like, joking around, too, like, maybe it's because they don't find me, like, conventionally attractive. In that case, I'm offended more creeps haven't tried hitting their shot with me. I'm joking, obviously. I don't want any more creeps, but it is interesting that I've run into them like far less. I don't really know how. But I am thankful at the end of the day for that. I don't want any like weird kind of attention thing like going my way. I'm just doing what I do. I see the there, yeah. I don't know if you were there for that conversation that I had a few streams ago. But this guy who asked me out to prom back in high school, total creep, did not respect my wishes when I told him that we should just be friends. And then after I graduated, when he was a senior, in high school, out in marching band practice, he allegedly grabbed a freshman's bra strap, not in like a malicious kind of way necessarily, but like it was like hanging off of her shoulder, So instead of like telling her about it, he just reached over to like put it back, and you know, people rightfully like yelled at him for that. You are lucky then. A lot of my friends have had some bad experiences, and it is eye-opening when you hear about these things as a guy. Yeah, I am extremely lucky, and I don't know how. Oh boy. Hello, Automod. Scumbag! Scumbag. That's what we're gonna automod today? My word. So he never learned boundaries at all. What a scumbag. I agree. Well, maybe he did learn boundaries at some point, but that's not gonna change the fact that, that's not gonna change the fact that he wrote that really, like, shitty book. Again, not to dog on, like, new authors or anything, because I get it, writing is hard, it's a skill. But, this book, has some very questionable content in it. I'll say that. The TLDR of the whole thing is that it tries to be 5 different genres of anime at once. And then also low-key has some really, really weird crimes against humanity, such as necrophilic R-word and, incestual pedophilia. And straight-up pedophilia. So, I'm allowed to make fun of this guy, is all I'm trying to say. I was actually talking, about it with, Biba on Sunday, because I was cleaning out my closet, and, he had to hear, like, the whole story, so I told him about the book. Oh god, yeah, please do make fun of him, because what the frick, I agree. I'm not gonna say, like, the whole spiel again, because I think a lot of it would, genuinely, like, get me off of stream, but at the end of the day, I will never say the name of the book, like, out loud, because the last thing I want is for this guy to get attention, and thus eyes on his book, and thus more money, because that's what he wants, right? On his Instagram highlights, he was, like, reveling in the fact that he got hate mail from his book, which, on whether or not that did or didn't happen, to me, it's, like, kind of clear that he's, like, it's, like, one of those things where it's like, oh, well, any attention is good attention. No, it isn't. No, it isn't, buddy. And maybe the hate mail he was referring to was, the Amazon reviews, because the Amazon reviews, really, like, call him out on the thing. There's only, like, 3 reviews. One of them insults his, grammar and English and composition. Literally, like, calling out, like, hey, why didn't you use Grammarly for this, because it's literally free for students. Another one called the book said that the book was, like, the worst D&D campaign he had ever read. It's a must-read if you use Reddit, and I agree with that one. All of these reviews really hit the nail on the head for me. And then the last one was, this is literally just Mystic Alabamian porn, and I'm just like, yeah. Also very true. I was telling Biba as well, like, the urge to make a strongly worded video essay about this book. But, like, I'm, like, holding back for, like, a number of reasons, obviously. I don't want to get, like, kicked off of YouTube for harassment. I don't want to bring this guy any attention. And most importantly, I don't want this guy to find out that, like, I'm online. I blocked him on Instagram, like, ages ago, and I have him I blocked him on my personal account. And I have him restricted on, my art account, because he doesn't know about my art account. And, like, I really, really want to make a video essay diving into this book and talking about how awful it is, and just sharing the experience, because I think it's something that we can all learn from. But I also just don't even want him to get a smidge of, like, attention from this anymore. Like, I'll tell you guys, because I think the situation overall is just very funny and silly. Because the guy is clearly, like, unbelievably gooner-brained. And it's funny making fun of him for it. Like, I have never, like, let me put it this way. It's so embarrassing, like, how deep he is and how deep that book was into, like, the whole, like, anime genre stuff, because it was like an isekai, and an action, and a comedy, and a hentai, all at the same time, but, like, in the worst way possible. There would be, like, some insane things happening that, like, don't even make sense plot-wise. And then there would be, like, actual horrifying, like, I'm pretty sure they led a genocide against China. Like, at some point in the book. Like, there was an invasion, and then there was Chinese orphans. And it's like, mind you again, like, yeah, huh? Mind you again, this book is supposed to be fantasy. So, you know, okay, typically when you write a fantasy world, right? You create your own world. That's what world building is. You make up the continents and the islands and the countries and everything. And it's all pretend. It's all make-believe. We don't even, like, think about, like, real-world implications because it's a fake story about a fake place that doesn't exist. So tell me why this guy's, like, island, his fantasy island, in his fantasy world, tell me why that was located in, like, the real-life actual Mediterranean Sea? Like, huh? Huh? the Mediterranean Sea. Like, the actual Mediterranean Sea. Like, huh? And then it gets worse because then there's, like, more mentions of, like, real life things. And, like, at the start of the book, the guy, the self-insert, he discovers a scroll dated to the Declaration of fucking Independence. Hamilton taught me that was 1776. I'm pretty sure we don't, like, nobody used scrolls in America, first of all. They didn't. So why would it be a scroll? Second, I'm pretty sure people stopped using scrolls after a certain point. Pretty sure every possible explanation would be stopped by Automata immediately. Automata just be stopping me right now, that's the thing. Yeah. And then there's a whole part where I think you guys are gonna have to correct me on this one because I don't know a lot about Europe. Or just, like, that general, like, area but, I think at some point they were sent to assassinate the Queen of Scotland. Now, I'm pretty sure Scotland doesn't have a queen. But they were sent to assassinate some queen, and I'm pretty sure it was Scotland that they went to go invade. Oh, hi, Butters! Hello! Look at this. Look at him! Hang on, Butters. Come here, look at the camera. Oh, no, why are you angry? I'm sorry. There he is. He's sorry, too. Hello, what are you doing up here? Doggo, yeah. What you doing, Butters? What are you doing? How are you today? Butter wants to know what you're doing. When did you get up here? Is Dad home? Yeah, you better be careful if Dad's home. He's gonna get mad if he knows that you came up here. You know what? If he asks what you're doing up here, Butters, I'll tell him I left the door open for Jimmy and not you. Well, that was unexpected. He heard my rants and had to go investigate. He's just sniffing around now. Hello, baby. I always love when he's when he comes up here. It's so cute. Hello. He's putting his head in my hand. Oh, hey, Goji! Hello! I have Butters over here. I'm not gonna point the camera again because I don't want to, like... I put eyes on the camera. He might see those. Anyways, back to the book rant. Yeah, just... over... The biggest, like, blanket advice I could give this guy like, seriously, is if you're gonna write a fantasy world, do not put it in, like, the actual real world. Because it is extremely, it is extremely messed up to say that your fantasy characters are gonna go over to China and you know, kill everyone there. Like, don't imply, like, real people, just make everything fictional. I don't understand what was going on with that. How's my day going? It's going great. I've got Butters over here, looking at me with his really big eyes. We're working on a kermmission that I got from Instagram because I forgot to update my Instagram bio, so working on this. I'm ranting about a really shitty book that my stalker wrote, which is really funny. Big Cheese, oh hello, welcome! Oh man, we got a bunch of people here today. Lovely to see you all. It's always great when more people come into chat. Butters, you promise me right now that you're not gonna pee up here, okay? I know you're house trained downstairs, but sometimes you're a little silly upstairs. He's really good. I wonder if Clive knows that he's up here. I will get back to the book rant in a moment. It doesn't look like Clive knows. It looks like he's left for the time being. Alright, so Butters is out the room now. Back to the book rant. Just... And I was telling Biba on Discord too, just to pretend like I was taking this book seriously, because, you know, 99% of the time, I wasn't. It's just whether you actually look at it from like a real, genuine, like critique perspective, or you're just doing it as a drinking game. There's so much wrong with the book, fundamentally. Literally one of the plot points made at the beginning of the book is that the main character is immortal, invincible, literally cannot die at all, and yet somehow the book is still like over 100 or 200 pages long. I forget what the page count is exactly, but it's like, at that point the story should have been like 2 sentences, and I spent the next however many long days getting to this guy's place so I could kill him, and then I killed him because I literally cannot die. So I don't understand why it took that long. And then among other things, there would just be like these really weird comedic, like strong emphasis on the air quotes there, these comedic like parts in like really serious scenes. Like, again, like the whole like Chinese invasion that they had there. There's a part where somebody's butt gets turned to like steel, and that's supposed to be funny. And it's like, why is this here? Why is this here? There is literally an invasion happening right now. So that was frustrating. Again, it's like all horrible animes, like all the worst parts of anime put into one, and it's bad. And this guy's ego is like through the roof. Just on his Instagram highlights, he has like a whole thing where he's talking about his book. He got like really upset that people didn't finish the book in like one day. So he posts like, I'm gonna post my book here, and I was hoping that somebody would give me some feedback because my book needs to be perfect. And then I kid you not, like the same day, he's like, what? No reactions to my book? I spent a long time on it. Like, it's a book, fella. That shit takes time to read. Another funny thing was, he made up this entire story about Netflix reaching out to him to make an original out of his book, but said that he turned them down, because they wanted to make the main character of the book black. but the main character of the book is not black. He's brown, like the author. Or no, sorry, he didn't use the word brown. He used the word tan. Plus, he's asking for a serious commitment. Exactly, like, it's a long book. Like, you can't... Like, if I posted, like, a long fanfic one day, and I was like, hey guys, I finished writing this thing, I'm not gonna complain that nobody read it. I understand that, like, people don't have time to, like, sit down and read sometimes. I'm gonna be like, okay, well, that's how it goes sometimes. I'm not gonna complain. So, already, like, the whole Netflix thing where he's, like, complaining, like, oh, they're gonna make the main character black for representation or diversity. That should tell you, like, a lot about his character. And he doesn't even, like, have, like, the balls to say that he's brown. He instead calls himself tan. Hey, genius! Tan is a very, like, in my opinion, tan is, like, a very, like, blanket statement, right? Tan can, like, everyone in the world is tan. Like, even, like, white people. If you spend any amount of time in the sun, your skin will darken a little bit. So technically, everyone is tan, if we're gonna talk about that. That guy, I know, like, the actual thing that he should be saying is that he's brown, because he is. And I would have taken a little bit less offense to that, but then again, he's, like, complaining, like, oh, they're just trying to make the main character black for diversity. Why did, the tone that he says that, it's like, it sounds like he doesn't want, like, diversity, like, at all. Which is crazy! And then, this was my favorite, Instagram highlight off of his thing. He was like, you know, maybe if my book doesn't do well in my lifetime, maybe down the line it will be discovered. Kind of like how H.P. Lovecraft died, and then his books got famous. H.P. Lovecraft? Like, brother, you're comparing yourself to H.P. Lovecraft? First of all, H.P. Lovecraft's works actually, like, world-building gold. I had a conversation with Johnny about this the other night. I think H.P. Lovecraft, would have been a killer DM if he wasn't racist. Like, the worlds that he crafted, the monsters that he made, not exactly great narratives, but fantastic world building. He sounds like an edgy gooner who had a massive power fantasy and now tries to convince everyone that it was a good thing. But to be real, unlikely to happen. So true. He is H.P. Gooncraft. Oh man, so accurate. Yeah, you even got the racism thing down too. It's probably more of like a colorism thing, but point still stands. Like, the audacity to compare yourself to one of the cornerstones of cosmic horror literature and everything. Holy shit! That is wild! That is like a level of delusion and ego that I don't even, like, this is yandere dev levels of delusion right here. It's so bad. And, you know, you could almost make an excuse where it's like, oh, well, maybe he wrote this, like, maybe when he was just, like, fresh out of, like, high school or something, right? And no, this book came out, like, 2021, 2022, something, like, in that ballpark. And it's only, like, 2025. I, for one, do firmly believe in not judging people in, like, their old and, like, previous actions, because, you know, we learn, we grow, we're constantly changing throughout our lives, and, oftentimes the past does not reflect the future. But this was 3 years ago, arguably, is not that long. If you have these, like, conceptions, if you had, like, these, like, ideas and, like, thoughts and everything, like 3 years ago, I'm not gonna lie, you probably still kind of have them now. So, good lord. And he also just hasn't, like, straight up changed, from what I can tell. Because one time, another Discord friend of mine, I shared this book with him, and he actually is friends with a writer. So we all, like, sat there, like, on the Discord call, like, I wonder what this guy is, like, actually doing now, right? Because it's not like his Instagram is super active. As it turns out, he has a super active Twitter. I don't know what spurred us, like, on this deep dive. Like, we just had to know. Turns out he's a VTuber. Absolutely, like, Gooner posting, like, all the time on, like, everything. It's so weird. So, in my opinion, hasn't changed one bit. Probably still, like, the same, like, edgy, anime, Gooner-brained, like, weirdo. Sorry, weirdo is too kind. What's something... Troglodyte, there we go. That he was when he was, like, in high school. So, not too surprised there. Maybe matured a little bit, but, that's still not gonna stop the fact that he published a book with, again, necrophilia R-word and incestual pedophilia, and also pedophilia. So, he does not seem like a guy who suddenly became introspective. Yeah, he really doesn't. I find it so unbelievable that he is somehow getting married, and I'm just like, all the best for his girl. Oh, I forgot to mention this about the book, too. This book is dedicated to his college roommate who died in a car accident. I'm willing to believe that. I don't think he would necessarily lie about that. But that character, that friend who died in the car accident, is a character in the book. And you know how I mentioned the whole, like, incestual pedophilia and actual pedophilia thing? That is that character. His friend, is a character in the book. That character has a daughter of a nondescript age, but very painfully obviously written like a child. There isn't, like, an actual sex scene, but they do canonically have sex with each other, the mother and the adoptive daughter of, again, no descript age. And then there's another instance during the invasion of China, the Chinese orphans that I mentioned. That friend describes one of the Chinese orphans to be a young girl with thick thighs. So in my head, there's, like, two answers here. Either the friend was actually like that, in which case, what the fuck? And then there's the other side of it, where the friend was not like that, and this guy has completely and utterly bastardized, his friend. Oh my god, the knife emojis in chat, so true! That's exactly how I feel right now. In which case, I think this friend should, like, descend from whatever afterlife she resides in right now, and smite him where he stands. Yikes, doesn't even cover it! Yeah! Listen, as someone who has had addiction to adult stuff, it never got this bad, ever. Exactly, it's like, how? I just can't believe that people like this actually exist sometimes. Like, yeah, you hear about it, like, online, but, like, there's always, like, that kind of, like, disconnect, right? Not to say that I don't view people online as just, like, entertainment or anything, because I do recognize that they're people. It's just kind of hard to believe that people like this actually really do exist sometimes. We need a new word to describe this level of yikes. This is, we're beyond yikes, we're beyond cringe. I think the word that we're looking for is criminal. And again, it's like, okay, just, when I put together, like, how this guy was in high school, and I see this book now, and it's just so, like, what? Like, if you guys really, really want to see, like, a whole, like, YouTube video essay where I can, like, more properly describe, what happened, I'll do it. Obviously, I'm going to change all the names of the characters because all of the names of the characters are real-life people. And I'm also going to make sure that, I probably won't even read from the book verbatim. I want this book to stay buried deep in Amazon's, like, self-published shit. Please don't. It's not worth your time. Yeah, it probably isn't. Same time, though, it's just... It is a fun story to say. It's just... Again, just the level of insanity and delusion here. Don't save yourself. Yeah, I don't even have the book right now. Because I did actually, like, tell this story over, to the people at the game store. And I lent the book, to one of the customers, because he said he wanted to write he wanted to read it and also, like, write a review on it. And I was like, oh boy. Because we all agree, this guy's insane. But oh man, is it funny to pirate his stuff. But yeah, just... I think the thing that I hated most out of, like, all of that was just, like, the complete, like, character assassination that he did on his friend there. I love how he describes, like, some of the stuff in the book, too. Chapter 2 is his friend's character's backstory. So it's literally like, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm sorry that my backstory isn't as tragic as, protagonist's, backstory, but it's still pretty sad. And, like, you end up, like, learning that she got sold into slavery twice in a lifetime. Like, once is already too much, but twice is, like, twice has to be, like, a new record or something. You may not have had a high quality of bad experience with dudes, but you've made up with the sheer quality of bad. Oh, high quantity, there we go. I can read again. Yeah. The best part, the one thing that I'm thankful for in all of that is that when all of this happened, I had already completely ghosted him. So I didn't get to see, like, this part. Maybe I should have, like, not that I think that I should have stayed with him, but part of me is, like, thinking, maybe someone like me, should have been there to be a voice of reason. So that someone could have, like, slapped him in the face and said, holy fuck, you need to unpublish this right now, because this is incriminating. This is hilariously incriminating. Now again, I might not know, like, a lot about writing. my published works might only be on AO3. But I will gladly take pleasure in the fact that I will never be that bad at writing. The book is a great drinking game, though, I will say that. But there are better drinking games out there. Oh yeah, that was the one really shitty guy that I knew. Somehow every other guy that I've met has been really, really great. So I'm glad with that, but I'm still also very, very confused as to how I've gotten this lucky. Maybe I just scared them off. I think I just scared them off. I think it'd be really funny if I continued to do that for the rest of my life. Anyways, what time is it now? Oh my god, it's already 1 o'clock. Man! Man, the time flies when you're yapping. Alright, I think things are looking pretty good. If I'm good about working today, I might be able to get this done either today or tomorrow. I think, if anything, I'll probably just finish line art today. I'll put, like, a big, like, work in progress thing over it at the very least, if I end up posting a whip of this tomorrow, because I am aware that if I'm not careful with my sketches and my line art posting, it can get stolen. I have been curious though, if there's any artists in chat, does anyone know how to check if your artwork has been stolen or not? Because I am curious. Because reverse image searching doesn't really work. I don't think anyone has stolen my artwork, like, genuinely. I can't... Not that I think too low of my art nowadays, but, I can't imagine that anyone would, like, actually be serious about stealing this. But I just kind of want to know. Because I think it would be helpful if I could check. At the very least, because you never know. And I've seen, like, tons of instances of, like, art theft already. What was it? Again, that channel, Cat and Chat. It happens so much, which I think is just kind of crazy. And, like, I think when you watch stuff like that, it's like, oh, the art thieves, like, never get away with it, but I'm just like, but I don't know if I've gotten my art stolen. That's exactly what the art thief, like, wants to keep me in. They never... I don't know. Also, I never realized that so many of the tracks from Red and Blue Rescue Team were reused in, Explorers of Sky and everything. It's kind of crazy to me. Let's see, we're at 1:26. So, this track is called Mount Freeze, but I'm pretty sure this track is also used, on one of, like, the peaks on the Shaman thing. I think. I can't really remember. Shadowheart's face, I think, is looking just a little bit flat. Let me finish inking and then I'll see. Oh yeah, the guy by the way, the guy hasn't, like, come back with a review yet. I'm pretty sure the book has just been, like, left forgotten, which is like, that's fine. I don't need it. I don't want it. Lines, please. I know when I've been looking at Shadowheart, I don't like how the eyes are shaped, but I don't actually know, like, what's wrong with them is the problem. So I'm just going to keep tweaking and hoping that something gets figured out. What's a funny thing that I could talk about today? Saturday was... Oh man, I should talk about Saturday. So I work Saturdays at Carl's Jr. Usually the weekends, the weekends specifically aren't bad for this reason. We might not get a lot of customers, but the only thing really is that when the customers do come in, their orders are usually pretty big. Especially in the drive-thru, because that's when, like, everyone is in the car and, like, they're going out for the weekend or something, right? So it's like, everyone's gonna get a combo and everything. For some reason, Saturday, it was busy from, like, 11:30 to, like, 4 p.m. So it was busy for almost 5 hours straight. And by the end of the shift, I was just like, what the actual fuck? And it was so sad, too, because, we called in 2 people early. It was Johnny and, like, some other kid, and it was so sad because it was like, oh god, we gotta work on the drive-through time. but the drive-through time was just not chipping down because everyone would order like so many things, and it was just like, why? And then according to Johnny, it slowed down for a little bit, but then it got super busy again, like kind of like late into the night shift, and it was like, what the hell? So I have no idea what happened, what was happening on Saturday. And then another crazy thing was that on Sunday, just to add insult to injury, Sunday, for whatever reason, was unbelievably slow. I think Johnny came home early. Which is good, which is nice, but it's still like, what happened on Saturday that everyone and their grandma had to come to Carl's? It was bad. The way I remember it, I think it would have been significantly more manageable if these two things didn't happen. So for a few weeks now, we haven't been allowed to park cars. Corporate has decided, like, okay, you know what, just try to keep the drive-through time either at the target goal or under the target goal, and just no more parking cars, right? It's not helpful for the customers, they don't like it, and so on and so forth. So we're not allowed to do that anymore, which on one hand is nice, because it means we can keep everyone, like, in their spot. Nobody's, like, going outside running around looking for the cars. It just helps with, like, the organization of a shift more at the end of the day. The issue is that, recently when we have been parking cars, the goal, the ones that we try to park are the ones where they're ordering, like, 5 combos per car. So the guy who started off the rush, on Saturday, when he came into the drive-thru, it was 5 combos, it was 5 large combos of the double famous star, and then 1 more combo of a single famous, and it was like, what? And we can't park it. And you know what the next car orders? They want, like, I think it was something to the effect of, like, 1 sandwich and a drink, or just 2 sandwiches. Significantly smaller order, and we can't do anything about it, because we're not allowed to park. And the thing is that with the drive-thru, I've noticed this. If people see, like, a line in the Carl's Jr. drive-thru for whatever reason, that's when they start coming in. Like, if there's someone at the speaker, and they take a while at the speaker, more people just will end up lining up behind that person. And that's how we get, like, really bad rushes, because it'll just be, like, one person took way too long at the speaker ordering their food, because for some reason they're ordering, like, 5-7 combos in the drive-thru. Word of advice, if you're ordering a lot of food, just order it, like, in the restaurant. Your waiting experience will be better. But anyways. So it was like that, so it was just a huge thing, and they just kept coming in, so there was, like, no time to clean, there was no time to stock. I felt bad, because at one point I had to go on my 30. But it was like, Jesus Christ, that human urge to form a queue and pile up. And then they get so mad, too. And then they'll be like, what's taking so long? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe you can tell, like, the other customers to stop ordering, like, 50 burgers in the drive-thru. That might be helpful, for us. My favorite thing, too, one of my coworkers, she was telling me, like, she hates some of the customers, because they're so rude to her, because she'll ask, like, oh, do you want any sauce? And then they don't say anything. So she hands them the food, because it's like, okay, well, you didn't say nothing. And then, and then they get mad, like, hey, where's the ketchup? It's like, you didn't ask for ketchup! It's so stupid at Carl's Jr. sometimes, but you know what, the job pays, who am I to complain? Yeah, it just stayed busy for so long on Saturday, and I was like, I can't wait to go home. And my manager has been, like, so funny. I feel like it's kind of rare to say that, like, you can be, like, really, like, friendly with your manager, because I tease her all the time. One time, I think I said like, Irma, there's a gentleman in the front who wants to speak with you, and she'll be like, ah, Kyra, you're scaring me, and I'm like, no, Irma, if I wanted to scare you, I'd tell you that there's a big hairy tarantula on the front counter right now. And just stuff like that. Because it makes the job, I think, more tolerable for everyone. It's not that I'm trying to be like the class clown in Carl's Jr., but it is my way of dealing with the trauma of working at Carl's Jr. So she found out that I started like making like bracelets for myself, and she's like, Kyra, we're gonna start a business, and I'm like, okay, Irma. So she's been like telling everyone at the store to like buy a bracelet from me. I've been saying like, I don't know, $3. And I've been joking around saying like I'm her little sweatshop worker. And people have been thinking that was funny. I gotta get like a different elastic though, because the bracelets keep breaking, and I don't think it's necessarily that I've like tied them bad or anything. It's more like I literally just can't tie them any better. Because the kind of elastic that I've been finding, it's kind of like actually a plastic. And the problem with that is that I can't really like double knot it very well. So the next best thing I can do is use a UV resin to secure the knot. But even then, it's like they've been snapping, and I'm just like, okay, let me see if I can find a different kind of cord, because this is ridiculous. So I am planning on doing that. I don't know if I'd ever sell jewelry online, though. I feel like I would be way too scared shipping it out. I feel like, I don't even feel like I can still guarantee, like, the quality that it won't break. Because, there's this one guy who asked me to make a few necklaces for him, and I did it, like, mostly, like, free of charge. Alright, you have a great day, Goji, and thank you for dropping by. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. But the whole thing with, but, like, it was so weird, because I've made tons of necklaces for myself, right? And I think, I've only had, like, one of them break on me, and it's because I've noticed, like, the cord, from the suede cords that I buy, for some reason, the ones that are, like, dyed black, they don't seem to like being adjustable. I don't know why. So I've stopped doing like the adjustable cord or adjustable cords for the black suede, and so I will give this guy like, you know, something with like a lobster clasp, right? And I don't know what he does, but he'll come back and it's like, oh, it broke, and I'm like, how did you break it? Because I don't break a lot. My necklaces don't really break, and again, it's not that I don't do anything like super like hard and laborious. I'm usually running around Carl's Jr. like a madman, right? So it's like, how did you break it? I genuinely don't know. But regardless, I'm not confident selling jewelry just yet, so that's been, I'd get there like maybe one day, but I think I'd really only be comfortable with like vending it at a table, where I can at least like make theoretical adjustments or something. Because it's really, really hard to make sometimes, but you know, what can you do? Did I tell my ranked Carl's Jr. joke here yet? Did I tell you guys about the leaderboard? I can't remember. We have a leaderboard at Carl's Jr. It is the funniest thing in the world. And it's for the drive-thru time specifically. It's not like, for dine. And when I used to work night shift, because, for night shift, there's usually more guys. And not to say that the girls at the store don't play any video games, but the girls that I've worked with at the store don't really play any video games. So it was literally just me. So the guys got it more often, or like they understood the joke more. So I used to make jokes about like, oh, it's a ranked online Carl's Jr. Because unironically, it kind of was. Or it kind of is, actually. We still have it. And you'll see like the city names of like the corporate locations, the unit number, and it's so funny. Because like you'll always see like the same people in like first or second. Or like you'll see someone in last and it's like, man, that store must be having a really bad day. And like, yeah, kind of true. Because I think the days when we're in last, those are usually like our really bad days in drive-thru. Because it happens a lot. Like, to an unholy degree. Okay, and then I need to remember the chainmail is going to be painted on. I wonder what we're gonna have for lunch today. So, Johnny got a new guitar. It's a Stratocaster. I kind of forget the difference between the one that he had and this one. But he was telling me that he needed to put these screws in for the tuning pegs. And what ended up happening was that the screws that he bought were, one, really, like, weak, because somehow both of them got stripped. Or two of them got stripped, and then the other one, the screw head, actually just fully snapped off. So that really sucks. So we're thinking that we're just gonna go to Guitar Center to get it fixed or something. Because on one hand, yes, we could technically do it ourselves, but it's probably wiser to just get it repaired by, like, professionals at this point, because, you don't want to cause any more damage. And this Stratocaster that he bought was custom made, and it's a beautiful guitar. It's like green with like golden accents, and I'm like, yeah, that was so worth the money. It just sucks that the guitar has to be like repaired now because this whole thing. I know when he first brought it home, I think the high E string snapped when he tried to tune it. Like, he didn't even move it that much, the thing just snapped. And I thought that was weird. I was like, oh, maybe he just, like, shipped... I thought that maybe the seller just maybe shipped it wrong, because in my experience with my violin, at least, because violin strings, I know, are more tense than guitar, but I think it's, in general, this is like a good practice when shipping like stringed instruments. You usually have to like untune them and like release the tension in the strings a lot, because, you know, you don't want the strings snapping on the way there. So I figured maybe the guy just didn't do that. No, apparently I think like, the most likely reason why it did snap was because the tuning pegs just weren't properly secured. Obviously there's a little bit more detail to it than that. I just don't remember exactly what Johnny said. And, to say that the tuning pegs just weren't put on properly, I think just gets the point across a little bit faster. I haven't played guitar in like a long time too. I feel like I'm like scrambling to get everything, ready. My goal is doing the Riverside Art Walk sometime closer to the summer. I think I'll be able to do that. The next hit die sticker that I want to do is Wizard. So I'm excited to do the Wizard. I know that dice is going to be purple, and I know I'm going to have like all kinds of like magic artifacts around it. The thing here that I have. Anyways. I was thinking, like, anytime I make a sticker sheet, I was thinking maybe it could have, like, a name for the sheet, because I had, like, more ideas for, like, a sticker sheet, and I thought, like, the title, like, Nature's Splendor or something like that, and having it, like, be, like, a bunch of, like, plants would be kind of cute. For the hit die, for the hit dies. I don't really know. But I thought that would be like kind of a cute thing. And then I know I also like I want to reorganize my Google Drive because while all of my D&D one-shots are super like organized and everything, my prints aren't. So the way that I get my prints sized and everything is I just put the image onto a Google Doc and call it a day. Because I have tried before where I send the actual image over to the Staples print thing, and for some reason it will be like this big, even though 2000 pixel canvases are already pretty big. So I wasn't sure what was going on there, and one of the Staples employees suggested, hey, just like put the thing onto like some kind of Word document just so like you can get it to like scale with a paper. And I've been doing that ever since, and it works out really well. The only time where it really doesn't is when I have like a really stupidly long poster, like say the birthday one. I wanted to print that one, but it was hard to get like a proper CMYK out of it, and I didn't have a lot of room for it. I think I will still try and print it out one day though, just not looking to doing that anytime soon. So it's literally just one Google Doc titled print, and that's where I just put everything. But I think I'm gonna start like organizing it so it's like, oh, print series 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Because the document is getting to a point where I can't really send it through email anymore, and I'm like, okay, well, if every like table or so I have like a different series, then I'll just like prepare X amount of artworks for that series and we'll call it a day. We'll pretend it's like trading cards almost. I think that's probably like a better way to do it. At some point I will definitely have to buy more storage on my Google Drive, but I'm still trying to... I still haven't filled it up yet, thankfully. It's like... like, I think Google offered like 1 or 2 terabytes. I forget what plan that I got. But it's a lot of storage, so I'm definitely not running out anytime soon. It's just, I do have to be smart about it, and I do need to clean up a lot of it, I think. So I think I'm gonna spend a day doing that. At the very least. Which will be good. Alright. That piece of the armor is looking good. I'm gonna put all this other stuff on a new thing. Oh my god. Get out of here, bot. Where's the... there it is. Google Drive is trying its best. I know. It is honestly like really sad to see that like I can't send the email sometimes, because it helps a lot to be able to like send a like a print request on my phone, because sometimes like, oh, if I don't get it right, I can at least like send it again. Like I don't need to pull up my computer for this. But it's starting to get to the point where I can't do that. I'm like, okay, we'll just do like separate like print series, and it's probably better I organize it like that too. Also, when I'm done vending a table, and I think I've sold like all the prints that I can, I will offer like whatever extra stock that I have online. So it's mostly gonna be keychains, the prints and the stickers again. Speaking of the keychains, very exciting news. I've sold 8 keychains at the store, according to our stock. So I ordered 100, split my order in half and gave 50 to the store, 50 for myself for vending, and I think it's really cool that I've sold 8 already, which is just super exciting. I think that is like one of the coolest things. Yeah, I love the designs too. I think they're very cute. I wish I had a better spot to sell them. I think if I'm lucky, or if the store is lucky, I should say, we might get a spot at the Renaissance Fair that happens literally next to my house. So I'm gonna... I already suggested that we try to do that. I'm gonna ask them again today, if I remember. Like, hey, did you guys apply to be a vendor at this, or did we decide that we are gonna do it, or we aren't gonna do it? One of the two. I have no idea if we're planning to. It's just, I specifically told them, yeah, it would be cool to vend at a Renaissance fair, right? Like, I'm excited for that. Like, I really, really want to do that. I specifically said that we should try doing that because, one, while the spring market that I did on Sunday was super fun, super cool, and it was really great to see everything, the people that go there were mostly not nerds. A lot of them were just, like, parents looking to, like, buy things for their kids. So obviously, even if we had, like, different things for sale, like dice trays, card sleeves, and other kinds of, like, merchandise, I think it's, like, really young kids. Like, they wouldn't be, like, collecting these things. If you go to a Renaissance fair, however, where we're guaranteed an audience of nerds and whatnot, that would be huge. That would be so huge. And I like that the people at the game store also agreed with, like, my suggestions about, like, hey, maybe instead of, like, trying to, like, sell merchandise at a booth or, like, pushing super hard for it, we instead push for, like, a more interactive booth. I suggested, like, paint your own minis or build your own dice tray, because I could do that. I could do that. Perfect target audience, and hey, always nice to meet more nerds. Exactly, like, again, I met, like, that one guy, that one old man at the spring market who had been playing D&D since 1st edition, and that was incredible. That was... I was so happy talking to a fellow nerd. I love that he, like, thinks like the same way as me too, like the whole, like, oh, I prefer, like, more story-driven campaigns, and I'm just like, this guy gets it! None of this power gaming stuff. I mean, nothing wrong with power gaming, but, like, I take a lot of fun in, like, story and character. But yeah, those were my suggestions, and it seems like everyone, like, agrees for the most part. Like, yeah, that's probably the smarter thing to do, because, again, the market is really good at getting word out about the store, but the thing is that nerds are not going to these markets. A lot of, like, people who aren't really into, like, tabletop are coming to these markets, because, you know, these markets are usually for, like, handcrafted stuff or food or something like that. And again, I think another thing too, just boosting interactivity in a booth is just so much, is, like, would be, like, super helpful, just because it's, like, it's kind of the best that we can do. We obviously can't sell D&D modules, because, you know, that has, like, a whole thing. We can't sell... Oh my god, he's back! Hi, Butters! You have your leash on! You know, where did that come from? Pre-roll ads are on. Run an ad break to disable them. Joke's on you, Twitch. I don't know how. But, he's so cute. He's got his leash on. Can I take it off? Oh. You know, he's so funny. He thinks he's very possessive. He really understands the concept of, like, ownership. And I don't mean that in, like, a dog and an owner kind of way. I mean, like, he really understands when things are, like, his. So it's, like, his bed, his food, his clothes. So in his head, it's his leash, and I'm not allowed to take it off sometimes. He's very funny like that. He's gone now because I asked if if he'd let me take off his leash. He's so funny. Butters! Butters, are you still there? You wanna come back? It's probably... He's technically not allowed up here. He's probably, like, gone back downstairs so he doesn't get in trouble. He's so funny. Anyways, yeah. So it's... Point being, we can't sell, like, actual, like, copyrighted merchandise because, you know, it's just not the setting for that. But what we can do, again, is just, like, make, like, really, like, fun interactive booths so people, like, one, can see, like, staff is, like, super, like, friendly and, like, we have a lot of fun at the store. And two, it still gets the point across that we're a tabletop store. Obviously I was selling Pokemon cards, but that was, like, besides the point. I don't think, cards should have been, like, the biggest, thing that people, like, gleaned from us. I think it should have been, like, something else. Alright, and then just get this through here. Alright. We're almost done with Shadowheart. And since the other two, the last three are just up there and they're kind of only, it's kind of only just their heads, it shouldn't be that far. We might actually be able to finish them. If I'm smart. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope we're gonna do like Heronberg or some kind of Ren Fair, because I think it would just be like really helpful for the store. They've also been, one of my employees has also been like trying to get me to be like, the actual like marketing person, rather than, Oh, he's back! Look at who it is! It's Butters! Hey, come here! Come here! Ah, and he's gone again. It's so funny because he like wags his tail and he looks at me. And he looks so excited and I'm telling him like, come here, and he's like, I'm gonna run away now. He likes being chased, actually. What I do sometimes, I'll chase him for a little bit, and I'll turn around and have him chase me, and we just go back and forth like that for a little bit. It's so cute. Yeah, I'm excited. I really do hope we do the thing, and, right, my coworker thinks I would be better at the whole, like, online marketing thing. On one hand, I feel like that's true. On the other hand, I'm just like, It depends on what kind of image we want for the store, because I can absolutely say some funny things, right? I'm more than happy to say, like, funny things and get more eyes on the store that way. But if that's not the image that, Chris and Brenda want, then, you know, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be too bothered by that. But we do need to do a better job at marketing the store at the end of the day. I think, like, funny TikTok skits would be funny. Sobs. But yeah, TikTok skits might help. I think just more, like, relatable, like, marketing campaigns. Ones that feel just a smidge less corporate, because they're very, like, bland right now, is the thing. Alright, let's get Will in here. Oh yeah, Johnny was telling me about this artist yesterday. He does, like, paintings for companies, and those companies turn his paintings into, like, jigsaw puzzles. For some reason, I forgot his name. He's dead now, though. I forget his name, though. But, like, for some reason, people were, like, so, like, really hated him for some reason. They were saying, like, oh, he's just making art to make money. And I'm like, not, like, I get it, like, you know, it's not fun to see, like, very, like, soulless, pieces, like the corporate schlop and everything. But I think, to an extent, a lot of artists are out there making art to make money. I don't necessarily make art to make money, but I do I do commissions. My art is my art is always going to do, like, the job of, advertising my art style, because I do want this as a career. So I'm just a little confused as to what the issue was exactly, because it wasn't like the corporate art style where, like, everyone for some reason looks like, I don't know, that, because it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It's like actual paintings of, like, scenery and stuff. So it's like, it's not really like corporate. It's not really like soulless. It's definitely like a beautiful piece of art. And I don't understand why people were so upset, like, oh, I can't believe this guy is making art just to make money. Have you heard of a job? Like, unironically, do you know, like, the definition of the word job or career? I don't... I think Johnny agreed with me. It's just kind of like a weird internet thing. I do agree that there are some art styles that I kind of find a little boring, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna hate the artist for, like, drawing in that style, because I get it. Things, like, sell for a reason, because they look good. But it was just, what a wild thing for, like, the internet to go off on at the end of the day. If there's any, like, art styles I find particularly boring, it's usually a lot of anime styles, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love the anime art style, but sometimes it's just like, okay, hang on. I've seen you draw, like, the same, like, kind of person 5 times over already. Now, that might be bold words coming from me, but, like, how do I put it? At least, I don't know how to describe it. It's like this. It's like this. It's always, like, very cutesy, soft face, and, very, like, glossy, rendering and everything. Now, if you like it, it's fine. It's pretty and it sells for a reason. People like it for a reason. But I feel like I've seen so much of it where it's like, okay, I kind of want to see a little something else, now. Like, I know both me and Johnny kind of agree, like, sometimes digital art just looks too smooth, too clean, too crispy. And I kind of agree. I like having crispiness in my lines because I think it just lends to, like, a sense of, like, clarity that's kind of needed, for my stuff. But with my rendering, I will be as unhinged about that as I want. Probably not the right way to describe it, but I'm going to describe it that way anyways, because I didn't go to art school and I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh man, actually, speaking of art school, Johnny was showing me his, like, the figure drawing process. The figure drawing process is crazy. And not just for the fact that you're drawing naked people, because forget about that. It's like, you know, you guys have, like, seen me sketch before, right? I have to do, like, the thing, and I do, like, the initial thing, and I divide everything into, like, boxes and shapes, and I put, like, center lines everywhere to just try and, like, find out, like, how the pose is gonna look. Johnny can just scribble now and create a human body. And scribble might be, like, a little bit of, like, an underselling of how it actually goes, but it's not. It's actually, like, kind of insane. Because, he can draw the body and the pose so fast now, and I'm like, it is mind-blowing. It's like, man, I kind of want to take a figure drawing class just to, like, just to like make the whole process just a little bit faster for me, because art takes a while. But I was like, wow! Like, that was crazy. Just seeing it in action there, and it was like, man! But yeah, just that was just like super cool to see. Part of me does wish I have time for art school. I feel like I kind of don't. I kind of feel like I also just don't really have the money for it. And I also, my big thing with like if I had to go back to school is like I don't want to do like math homework. I don't want to write essays. I just want to do like the art stuff, right? So I think he suggested that I can do like an art license or something, which is different from a degree. I might look into that. 'Cause I feel like that would be good. I would like to be self-taught no more. Or, no, I'll still be self-taught. It's just I'll have like actual classes to supplement whatever it is that I've learned. Alrighty. Will's looking pretty good so far, I'd say. I think Shadowheart's things up here need to be thicker, though, just to match her eyelashes. I think that's the issue that I'm seeing. Her eyes and oh, it's a little bit too thick, but I think to balance it out with the eyelashes, these just have to be like a bit thicker. So maybe like the other features like on her face too, just to balance it out. Shadowheart strikes me as a person with like a super long morning routine, but it's like so worth it every single time. Or she'd be like inhumanely fast at it. Like she's been doing it for so long, she knows all the secrets and shortcuts and everything. Not that I know anything about a morning routine. I don't have a morning routine or a night routine. I actually have like a super dry patch like on my hand right now. I don't know how it got there. I think it's just because I have to like wash my hands so often at like work and at home. So it's just really dry and I don't know how to fix it other than just put lotion. But I always forget to put lotion. It never like it got beat into me that I should like, not necessarily like I don't care for my skin, but I don't put a lot of effort into it. The most effort I will put is if I notice that it's getting dry, I put lotion when I remember. And that's pretty much it. And it's worked. I'd say it's worked out for me for the most part. Nothing like too egregious at the end of the day. Like I don't have a lot of acne that like really shows or it's really visible. If anything, I usually try to make it worse because I like to pick and scratch at it. Yeah, the one thing that I do put like more care into is my hair. But I am thankful for like this one thing. My hair seems to really like the cheap Head and Shoulders product because Johnny and Clive use the native I think hair wash and body wash. Those are like two separate products, by the way. And it works out for them. But in my opinion, it's like, okay, well, Head and Shoulders is like this big, and Native is like this big, and I pay like $3 extra for Native. Probably higher quality product, sure, but the Head and Shoulders shampoo and conditioner that says Silky Smooth on it with a pretty flower, that has been doing wonders. My hair is so soft. I told Johnny about it, and he's like, oh man, I might have to start considering that because Native is expensive at the end of the day. And the only thing is that, if you get the Silky and Smooth Head and Shoulders, you do only get 1 scent, and it is kind of flowery, but, You know, I don't mind because I do actually quite like the scent of it. There was a period of time where I was getting like the green apple scented Head and Shoulders. I don't really remember why. But it just was, and my mom kept buying it, and I'm like, I kind of don't want to use this scent anymore. But it was what it was. I'll say that much. You know, still good. If there was any shampoo and or conditioner that smelled really good, there was this one that my mom bought. It was like a really nice coconut kind of scent. It was like coconut and vanilla. That was heavenly. I was like, that was great, but I don't remember the brand. So I was like, okay, well, it's fine. It was fun while it lasted. I've been like on the wrong layer. It's fine. I don't think I need to worry too much about it, except for the parts that like overlap with the character down here. There we go. Do you think Will should have fangs? I know he got like transformed and everything, but like I don't think he ended up getting fangs, and his ears ended up staying like pretty rounded too, so I never actually know, like, did he become a devil? Did he become a tiefling? It might just be like an appearance thing too. There we go. It's okay, even if he did have a fang, it'd be a little bit hidden behind this, like, kind of horn right there, so it's fine. I love how they kind of look like a coloring book right now. Like, if I just take off all of that, it's like you could make this coloring book. I wonder if that was the end of the playlist already. Oh, there's still like a good amount left. Like 20-ish minutes of songs and stuff. Oh, hello, Starlight! Welcome! Oh, man. Yeah, we're just doing art. My kermissions were technically closed everywhere but Instagram, as it turns out, so... Because I kind of forgot to update my bio, so this is what I've been working on. Don't you just love that I crammed the Baldur's Gate 3 cast into a little Polaroid thing? I know what I'm gonna do for the client. I have an idea. I think what would be really cute is if I gave them a CMYK version. And I said, I put this... I'm giving you like an extra thing, so that way, let's say you wanted to have this printed out on like a nice piece of paper and have it look kind of look like a Polaroid. You can. I'll send them like a few different versions too, like because I used to make sort of like Polaroid type pictures, so I know how to get the effect on there like pretty easily, I think. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna send them like a couple different versions, so that way they have like the options of like doing stuff and they can share it and everything. I think that'd be nice, especially for something like this where it's very like this is a piece that you would want like printed, right? Like, let's say I fully rendered this and everything. This is absolutely like something you could like put like in a scrapbook, I think. Okay, let's take the ink a little bit in two pieces now, because this, whatever I was doing, is clearly not working out. There we go. Nope. There we go. Hello, been lurking a little bit. That's absolutely adorable for the Polaroid. Oh, thank you! Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the finished piece. I love doing this, and I do love drawing for other people. Oh, speaking of drawing for other people, Matt Andre, Warped Worlds, if you've seen me reposting and boosting him on Blue Sky a little bit, because he's a super cool individual. Don't tell him. But he's making his Warped Worlds is his own little like TCG project. High key, I kind of want to like gift him like his own little like custom card sleeve, because I have no idea if he's gonna start doing like physical cards anytime soon. But I love his character there. I think it's super cute. And you know what? Since I do want like more practice with this kind of thing, I think I will be drawing him a little gift. Don't tell him though. It's a surprise. Yeah. And speaking of card sleeves for the custom one, I'm gonna make a few edits because we all got in the Discord. Secret is safe. Thank you. The one that I made for our game store. I am going to be making a few edits to that one, but more or less the composition is going to remain the same. And speaking of, my... I need to read this out loud, because my manager at the game store went absolutely, like, not crazy, but he just pulled this whole spiel out of nowhere. So, reminder, I am a self-taught new game overlay. No. I am a self-taught artist. I know not a lick of, like, actual, like, vocabulary or anything. Just to pull out the thing real quick, just to show you guys what I'm talking about. And for those who haven't seen it yet. If this soundtrack sounds familiar, I'm gonna have... What is this? 215. You know, I think somebody used this in a meme, and that's why I think it sounds familiar. Anyways, so this is the card sleeve, right? This is more or less the finished card sleeve. Maybe I'm gonna like change the lighting like here and there. But here's what my manager wrote down, because somebody said, I feel like there's a lot of empty space in the upper right, but I'm not too sure. My manager just pulled this out of nowhere, right? Quote, there is a bit of empty space intentionally, but I think it works in this image. She's really aggregating 6 different composition rules into one image, which I think is brilliant. She's got the rule of thirds, in which the cat's eyes intersects right into the rule of the third grid. She's using leading lines to lead the viewer's eye towards the die, emphasizing its importance. She's using contrast, drawing more attention to both the cat's face and the die. The depth, or the negative space, creates a sense of depth in the image. The use of color against the muted background tones creates a magical effect for me. And I'm just like, did you go to, like, art school or something? 'Cause, let me tell you this. I have a very basic grasp of, I mean, I'm like, the compliment really like warms my heart. Like, it's really nice to see someone like take such a really cool and technical breakdown of whatever the fuck I was doing here. But like I said, I'm self-taught. I don't know what he's talking about. Because let me break down my thought process for this entire thing. I obviously want the focus to be very strong onto the cat, but I have heard that sometimes putting your subject in the center actually draws away from, like, the focus somehow, in some cases, and in this case, this is apparently one of those things. So, if I put, because to me, it's like, okay, if I put the cat in the middle with the table and everything, I'm kind of not gonna have a lot of room to, like, fill out the outer space. Not that I want to fill it out a lot, but I need to, like, put something there, otherwise it's too empty, and having it in the center to me would have been, like, a very, very boring kind of look. So that part I kind of understood what I was doing. The reason why the image is so dark, again, is because this thing is glowing. It needs to be the center of attention. I have basically... the type of composition that I think I personally understand the most is lighting. So, when it comes to this kind of lighting, where I have like the source of light and something shining on it and a subject and so on and so forth, it's like that's the draw, so that needs to be the brightest thing in the image, which makes sense. Hence all the darkness and everything, the shadowed out Monstera plant, the like the one shelf with like not too many things on it, because again, you don't want to pull away from the thing, you want to pull towards it. There's not really any like leading lines. I'm not sure what he's talking about there. It could just be kind of like the rays of light acting as that. Like, that was all I knew. I don't know. The best I know about composition rules, or like the number of them that I know, is 2. Realistically, I only know 2. To me, the sense of depth comes from the fact that there is a background that is painted, and then there is a more forward foreground that is also painted. Both of them are out of focus, and everything that is lined is in focus, so that to me is what's creating a sense of depth. But I could be stupid. I can always be stupid. So I'm not really sure what he was talking about, but I still appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad being able to naturally follow the flow of those rules. It's still really neat hearing that breakdown, though. I've mostly heard rule of thirds in photography. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about photography. I just do remember hearing, like, something like the rule of thirds having to do with, like, grids and stuff. I just don't really remember, like, what it said exactly. I think the only thing really was, like, oh, just, like, you don't always have to have everything in smack dead in the middle. You can always, like, skew things to the side a little bit. For photography, I'm sure that has, like, a different, like, weight of impact for me as an artist. Skewing things off to the side a little bit allows me to better fill in spaces to create a more interesting scene. Maybe it's the same thing in photography. Like I said, I don't know, because I never know what I'm talking about when I'm up here on the stage. But here we are. I just... But, like, the whole thing with that is, like, I just want to know, like, where he got all of that from, because I didn't know he was an artist. Or I didn't know he knew any of those things. I'm just like, what the... But yeah, still definitely gonna make edits, mostly to the logo. I kind of want to experiment with, like, magic effects, but again, it's supposed to be, like, a very, like, sort of dark, mysterious, and magical kind of tone to it. But I think I will try and make the logo bigger, just so long as it doesn't ruin, like, the overall, like, look of the piece. That's the biggest thing to me. My one issue with that, again, though, is I don't have vector software, so if I expand the logo, it might come out a little blurry, so I might have to get somebody else's help with that. And then, of course, I'm gonna have to make a print-friendly version, because if this is going on the back of a card sleeve, it's gotta be print-friendly. The image as it is right now is just way too dark. Way too dark for anyone to be able to know, like, for sure, like if I print it, let me grab an example. Like, let me show you guys what I mean. Let me just grab this one off the wall. Yeah. I don't know why it's so folded like this. Or, no, actually, no, I have a better example up here, I think. You know, I think this whole thing just needs to be, like, flattened. I think that's what I should do. I'll just stick it in, like, my portfolio and, like, hope that if it spends enough time in there... Oops, what did I step on? This one. This is a good example. So... this was the Druid poster that I drew last year around January or February. I think it was... Well, it took a month, so it was probably both of them, really. You can see, like, a good amount here. Let me put it more towards the camera. But you'll notice, actually, the camera is doing a really good job at brightening it up for once. But when I'm looking at it, there is a lot of, like, detail kind of, like, missing in, like, some particularly dark spots. So, like, camera, please. So, like, kind of, like, right here, this character, he's, like, it's probably, like, it's a little hard to see, or, like, this other, like, group of characters here, like, around here where the light doesn't really, hang on. It's so hard to figure out, like, where things are. Right, like, right around here. It also kind of, like, gets a little bled in, and then, you can see the trees. I don't know why it's doing that. But like when I'm looking at it, the trees aren't super visible and they're not very distinct. Somehow the camera is actually able to pick up on the trees, and I don't know why. Because when I put this into CMYK, everything got really dark really fast because CMYK, from what I've noticed, it seems like it takes less values to get to, like, the really, like, dark part of the color spectrum than it does RGB. That's probably, like, a really botched and awful explanation, but it's the only one I can really think of. So, images, like, tend to be, like, super dark and super, like, hard to see when you finally, like, blend things in and stuff like that. If I were to put... There's a better way to describe this, I just don't have, like, the right print for it. A point being, if you have, like, a really dark image and you want to print it, brighten up the image a lot, because otherwise the ink gets dark really fast when you color mix. It's a lot easier to make something darker than it is lighter. You're gonna struggle a lot more trying to go in the opposite direction, as it's the same thing with printers. So the card sleeve design is super dark at the end of the day, right? Like, I'm not denying that, so I just need to edit it a little bit just to get, like, a proper what's it called? One that's more print friendly, one that's actually gonna show, like, the details that I put in there. It should be relatively easy to do that, and I am gonna experiment by printing on my own printer first before I send them the file. But point being, that's what I've learned from printing. I've had to experiment, like, so many times before. If there's anything else I've learned, printers really seem to hate the color cyan. Like, anything in this sort of, like, color range right here, like, all of that, absolutely hates it for some reason. Which is weird, because you shouldn't need to mix cyan, because if CMYK stands for cyan, yellow, magenta, and black, right? Those are the primary colors when you work in a traditional medium. That's because color, when working in a traditional sense, so be it paint, colored pencil, or anything, color mixing is subtractive. When you mix colors together, the darker it gets. Whereas with RGB, digital stuff, color mixing tends to be additive. So, for example, red and green paint makes a dark color in brown, whereas red and green light, when you shine them really close to each other and you blend those two beams, you get yellow. So one is adding. When you add colors, you get closer and closer to white. To illustrate this, your computer screen is made out of pixels, but pixels are made out of three colors: red, blue, and or red, green, and blue. When you put these three lights close to each other, because these are our primary colors when we work in a digital space, they start to become white. And of course you can like change the thing here and there, and it's kind of crazy. Obviously I don't think it's gonna work here because I think art programs are literally like made to follow at subtractive color mixing. But all of that to say, I'm a little confused. Like, if you have cyan, if you have the color cyan as a primary, there arguably shouldn't be that much, like, color mixing needed to achieve that. I've been trying to find a way to print my crystal tiefling and my gay mermaids from last year on, like, a really nice thing, and I've done it 3 times over for the mermaids specifically. It does not work. It does not work. I have tried everything from like brightening up the image or even like decreasing like some light effects, and the color still gets like muddied somehow. I just don't know what to do. I've kind of given up on the crystal tiefling for now, just because the auroras are super bright and the background is really dark. And I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to, like, get that one specifically, and get that one right, because, it doesn't seem to want to be right, and I don't really know how I'm gonna fix it. But the mermaid one isn't that bad at the end of the day. I just don't understand, like, what I need to do to get, like, that clarity that I'm looking for, because, okay, specifically, what is getting super muddied is the water highlights on the hair and everything, especially Andromeda's hair, because her hair is like aqua and then there's like a light cyan on top of it. Those are the water highlights, and it's so frustrating trying to get it to work out, and I just don't know what to do. On a side note as well, I bought my own 28-pound paper to see if I could just do some at-home printing, because it's kind of a lot to drive over to Staples and print everything. I figured, if I could just do it at home, I could save a little bit of money. Unfortunately, it does not print glossy. I don't know if it's because of the kind of paper that I bought, or if it's because of the printer or the ink. I tried looking it up online, and it feels like it can kind of be a whole number of things, so I'm just like, okay, well, if I gotta do, like, emergency, kind of, like, I have no time to do, I have no time to go to Staples, I can probably just print at home and call it at that. But, I will still be printing at Staples, for the most part, if I have to. I will have to, you know, there's definitely, like, a lot of art that, should be able to turn into prints, as always. These sound. This does not sound like a Mystery Dungeon soundtrack. Oh my god. But yeah. So that was unfortunate. When I looked into trying to see, like, oh, how do you get, like, glossy prints, at home? I got answers all the way from, like, oh, it's the kind of printer you have, to it's the kind of ink that you have, and it's like, okay, I don't want to have to buy a printer, and I recognize how expensive ink is. I'm probably better off, if I want glossy stuff, just going to Staples, and you know what, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just try to do everything in bulk, so I don't have to make multiple trips. Man, this really does not sound like a Mystery Dungeon soundtrack. Yeah, what can you do, though? There we go. This sounds like it would be a soundtrack in like a mainline game, like as like a mini game kind of thing. Like if anyone remembers like the Pokeathleon or Pokeleathon, whatever it was called in like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it sounds, or like a Pokemon or like the Pokemon contests too. That's what this sounds like. This does not sound like it belongs in a Mystery Dungeon game. It does sound like it was supposed to be for a minigame though, I'll tell you that much. Like, if I was to think of an Explorers of Sky equivalent to this, it's probably like the Sentry Duty minigame. The one where you gotta look at footprints. So many people like make jokes about that, like, oh, you gotta look at feet. Or like Diglett looks at feet in Mystery Dungeon, and like, I can't even like say anything because that's not even like wrong. But I think the whole footprint thing was there because in Pokemon... Oh man, I forgot to change the layers, that's okay. So what layer is this on? So I can at least erase all of that, okay, so. I think it was Gen 4 when they started doing like, when they started putting like Pokemon's footprints into the Pokédex. I think that's the soundtrack over as well, so let me see if I can find another thing for the next 30 minutes. That's when they started putting the footprints in, so I think the devs just wanted to like add something just to like be in reference of that. Let's see. There's a lot of Mystery Dungeon music compilations. There's Animal Crossing here, I'll take that. Anyways. But yeah. Another thing that I was trying to look into, I was trying to see if I can get something that could like sort of laser cut my stickers so I don't have to send them over to a thing to get sticker sheets. But again, I have no idea what I'm looking for exactly. I know I should be looking at some kind of Cricut cutter, I just don't know like which one. I would have to ask questions on that, but Cricut cutter also kind of like huge, expensive, so not exactly sure if I want to end up doing that. I also don't know how many sticker sheets I want to make. I think 5 and 5 would be good, because it would be like my first time. It would be my first time running my own table, and not like the game stores. I guess I'll see how much they each cost and everything. I still have to like properly design like the actual page itself. Probably won't put too much detail into it because as per Johnny's suggestion, and I agree, I just do kind of want it to look like a piece of like stained and old parchment paper. You know, just to keep up the fantasy vibe, if anything, so at least there's that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the wizard design though. I'm like so excited. I'm like trying to like think in my head like, oh boy. Of course I gotta look at the wizard subclasses too. They're all just the schools of magic, so things like conjuration, abjuration, divination, and then there's like some different ones in there. There's graviturgy, which is really cool. I think that one's like a really fun one. I think this was part of his cape that I gave him. Will deserves to have a cape in his default design. He needs one. He also deserves a little stud earring. Let's say maybe a stud piercing, but that doesn't feel like him. He deserves all the fun accessories, I think. We were talking about angsty Will last time I drew this. Now I remember now. Will should have been an angsty boy. He should have been the angsty tiefling of the group. And I would have agreed. He's just... we should have had an emo tiefling boy in the group, and I think it should have been Will. And I will forever be delusional about this, because, yes. Trying to see how exactly I drew the cape here. As it turns out, I can't, so... it is at this point where I kind of have to start pretending that I know what I'm doing. I see it now. I see it. See, this is why I need clean sketches, otherwise I will literally not remember whatever it is that I'm doing. Some artists can like deal with like messy sketches, and I think that's because they don't really do like a lot of line work, so they can kind of like get away with it a little bit more, just kind of like not necessarily improvise as they go. But it's kind of similar to that. Like that's kind of how painting goes. You kind of just it's a little bit of guesswork. But for me, it's not guesswork. It's like I need these lines crisp and distinct. I think I should do another art complimenting stream too. I haven't done one of those in a little while. Okay. Let's actually make this thicker. Make that thicker, and this is the... There we go. And... I think that is Will. There's kind of a space here I think I'm gonna need to fill out, though, is the thing. But I will get to that when I get to that. I'd say this is looking pretty good. Alright. Karlak, I'm a little scared to ink whatever is down here. But I think I can see what I was going for. So let's see. Time is it? 2:12? Alright. We're making good time. I will definitely be able to finish the ink today. And if I'm diligent tonight, I can get it done tomorrow. Or I can get this posted tomorrow, probably. I might even, like, keep working just, like, off stream as soon as it ends, just because, Johnny should be at the bus stop around 4, so let's see if he's texted Pamelia yet. No, he has not. Alright. I'm sure he'll text, like, around 3. So I'll probably keep working up until about 3:30-ish, or just... I just have to leave 20 minutes before Johnny arrives at the bus station, otherwise he's gonna be waiting there, and said city that bus station is in is not that good of an area, so you don't really want him to be waiting. His bus stop is actually super close to the game store that I work at. Probably doxed... I've probably, at this point, doxed myself by, talking about the game store. Or, like, mentioning the name of it. Or, like, even just having the logo down there at the bottom. But I don't think I really care too terribly much at the end of the day. It's not that bad. Let's see. The Zariel Tiefling ears are kind of like this. Kind of crooked. And then I think Karlak's ear I intended to come out in front of Will's horns, so there we go. So let's go down here. Layers really help me make, like, the really nice and even, like, line art and everything. Just for the fact that, I can I don't have to worry about following a line, like an imaginary line. I can just draw it over and then erase whatever it is that I don't need. Karlak! She would have, like, a piercing like this. She would have a septum piercing, I think. And she would also, like, maybe have, like, snake bites, I think. I think we could have gotten a little crazy with it, but they didn't. And I do like that her face is a little bit clean. Will, however, you need it. You need to be the emo tiefling dream boy. I am that delusional about him in my head. Let's see, there we go. Maybe she needs more tattoos too. No, she has tattoos. I think the only thing is that they're not visible in anything that I could show right here. I've always wanted to have like a maxed out save file of like Animal Crossing New Leaf. I never got like the final upgrade for the Timmy and Tommy shop, I think. I never got blue roses in any Animal Crossing file that I've had. The blue roses are always so weird to get, because it's like, you have to get a hybrid red rose, and to do that you have to get like the black roses, and it's just a whole process, and I'm just like, man, this sucks. I think I got close in New Horizons, but I stopped playing New Horizons around, I think, October of 2020. Because it was just... like, I kind of wish it didn't, like, follow, like, a real-world clock or anything, just because, at some point, games like that, after a certain point, just kind of feel like a chore. Like, okay, I gotta open the thing, I gotta talk to everyone, I gotta water the flowers. It's like, I'm not playing video games to do chores, I'm playing video games because I want to have fun. And that was also, like, kind of the point where New Horizons just really didn't have a lot of content. New Leaf, I think, is so much better than New Horizons. Like, the nice thing that I really liked about New Leaf was that it wasn't hard to get your villagers to give you like special requests, like, hey, could you go deliver this for me, or could you help me find this, or could you give this as a present, or could you find me one of these things. Like, it was nice that they gave out like quests more often. Whenever you talk to the villagers in like New Leaf, or no, New Horizons, they'll be like, oh, nice seeing you today. You talk to them again, wow, man, we're really talking a lot today, aren't we? And I'm just like, bro, when did you guys get so introverted? It's only funny when I do it. Yeah. I know New Horizons, like, got more content, but I never got around to, like, picking it back up. Why does this sound like communism? Oh god. I'm sure this is, like, the theme that plays with TNT Emporium. But this is a little bit, like, too, like, march tempo for me. It's cute though, but it sounds like it belongs more like in like some kind of like medieval like city. I think whenever I do the VTuber debut, there should be like absolutely like no like fanfare about it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not even gonna like tell you guys. Just be like, no face cam today, guys. We have this instead. Because I don't really want like the whole like main thing to be like a VTuber thing. I do prefer my face cam. It's just I know there's going to be some days where I don't want to have the face cam on is the thing. So that's kind of what the VTuber is for, and I just thought it would be funny to have one. Now I have no clue what this is. This might actually be like the full TNT Emporium. Because I hear that motif, so... Oh, had no idea. Alright, it's 2:21. Let's see how fast we can do Karlach here. I need to make these little bits smaller. I like doing this for the hairlines. I think it adds like a really nice touch. And then I also just don't know what else I would do for the hairlines. I think some people just draw a line, or like their lines are so thin, so I can't really like see like what other people do, but I think this is like good right there. Just bring that down a little bit, and then sweep like that. When I played New Leaf before, there was literally like a calendar app that someone made, and you could like customize everything. You could say like which villagers were in your town, and it was so organized. It was so good. I think at some point it just started getting like a bunch of ads though, and then of course I haven't like played New Leaf in like ages, so. But Johnny's been thinking about getting back into Animal Crossing. I'm like, I wonder what he's gonna do. I wonder if it's gonna be like New Leaf or New Horizons. Is what I mean, so. Definitely curious about that. One of the things that sucked about New Leaf, though, the one thing that I think New Horizons has over New Leaf, or one of the few things, have to what day I think for stream. Oh, don't worry, we're gonna be wrapping up in a few minutes anyways. You're good, Kira. I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for staying as long as you did. Hope you have a good sleep. Anyways, one of the things about New Leaf is that it still used the grass decay system. So the game kind of punished you for running, which was kind of stupid, in my opinion. It, like, what it was is if you ran over the spaces with grass, over time, the grass would die and you'd just be left with dirt. And that's what I remember. That's how I remember it works. Obviously I hated that because, grass is pretty, nature's pretty. I love nature. But it was just like, why is this even a system? Because there was no like, really, like, definitive way to, there was no really definitive way to make sure your grass didn't decay other than just walking. Nor was there, like, really an effective way to, like, replant it all, aside from, like, setting the time way forward and then way back. And, of course, that was gonna have, like, other detrimental effects, like weeds, cockroaches, your villagers literally forgetting that you exist. So, I just didn't, like, enjoy, that at all. New Horizons thankfully got rid of that system, though, because that was ridiculous. in my opinion. Like, that was, like way too much at that point, because the amount... I think it's just kind of stupid to, like, punish players for running, because they're going to run. Like, your Animal Crossing thing, town or village or island might not be that big, but it's still, like, an area to cover. So it's like, of course players are always going to be running. Now, you can absolutely punish players for running by, like, having flowers, and, like, if they run through the flowers, they destroy it. But like, you can replace flowers is the thing. Right? You can replace flowers. You cannot. You could not replace grass back then. And that was, like, such a problem to me. I was like, that's so stupid. I know it's probably, like, kind of realistic, but it's like, it's a video game. You don't have to be super realistic in some points. Bring that out. Erase that. And we're actually just not even gonna, like, close that line, just to give a little bit of depth to it. Okay, we're ending stream in 4 minutes. Here we go. Another thing that was kind of, like, frustrating with New Leaf was, for some reason, when it came out, it was still kind of the period of time where, like, a lot of things, it was kind of hard to find the answer for some video games. Still, I remember before, in, like, Pokemon Platinum, I would look at, like, oh, how do you get Oak's letter to get Shaman? Because I really, really wanted Shaman when I was little. But there was just so much, like, not necessarily misinformation, but, like, a lack of, like, clarity on that information. Which was just kind of insane to me. And, like, Animal Crossing New Leaf, despite it being about 2013 or so, still kind of, like, suffered from that information-wise, because there weren't really any effective guides on how to get, like, blue roses, for example. There weren't, the only real guide that there was, fishing and bug catching, but that was kind of it. But, you know, it's, not the hardest thing in the world to figure out. Let's see, bring that down. Do you like the bunny ears that Karlach is doing on, like, Will and Astarion? Absolutely, like, not within the time period, but again, it's fantasy. I don't think anyone really cares. I think she would do that. Then that would come down like that, I think. Then getting a lot of tangents everywhere, but the tangents work out if you do them in a very specific way, as I've learned. It's not necessarily that you have to avoid them. It's more like you kind of gotta know how to make them look. Bring this down a little bit more. One muscle point over there. Then real quick, let's see if we can draw her hands, just to finish off for stream today. Something like that, and then same idea over here. I was about to say, what is this? I remembered, there's like a whole, like, underground club in New Leaf. I'm so sad they got rid of it. I think they got rid of Shrunk too in the in New Horizons. That or he just doesn't play as, like, as fun of a role. And I'm like, I know, I miss him. He was such a funny character. Alright. I think this is where we're going to leave off for stream. Lots of progress done today. So it's just, I gotta finish, like, the last little bit of Lae'zel there at the bottom. Or not Lae'zel, Karlach at the bottom. And then finish off Lae'zel. And then I should be able to get this done today. Again, if I work very, very diligently and not get distracted. I'm gonna get distracted. But yeah, I'm excited. I think this looks great so far. I'm excited to get this out to the client, because I've been having so much fun with this. Alright, so closing remarks. Next stream, Thursday, 10 p.m. Pacific time. Clive said he wanted to play Left 4 Dead with me and Johnny. We might be doing that. I'm gonna have to ask. But otherwise, it might be a Stardew stream. We'll see. In any case, thank you everyone who showed up. Thank you so much for watching. I had a wonderful time as always hanging out with you all, and I will see you all next time. Love you, and bye.